Hey people, how we doing out there? First things first, my name's Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG, Infusion Light Energy Gain technology screens. Pretty soon we're going to be changing out this whole design we have here, give it a more professional look so that way we can add a lot of pictures and videos to the website because we can't do it with these post office boxes wrapped around my screen. So we're definitely going to be designing a much more sleeker and more, actually a much bigger screen to tell you the truth. I'm going to do a 3 tile system, and I got time to do that before I start off on my new project. Because if I told you before, I got a project coming up. But in the other video, I was talking a little too much about the project. Not even though I didn't say anything, so I removed it. But anyway, I got a big project coming up, and can't really say too much about it. I am under NDA. Anyway, so our lighting system we have here, we consider our technology to be more advanced than the traditional ambient light projection gain because, of course, the demonstrations themselves speak for themselves. I had so many people ask us, what's the gain on it? We said it's not ambient light projection. It's clear you can see ambient light projection demonstrations, which have been all over YouTube, looking for ambient light projection screens, and they don't even sit in the environments that our advanced ambient light projection technology sat in. So, again, we're just going to be doing a lot of videos talking about our new gain. We have a future gain coming up, which is going to be the new title of our other technology. So screens probably will be getting an upgrade. I forgot these things are 10%. I literally keep forgetting they're 10% technology. I literally forget this. So yeah, gain will be increased. So the name of the gain will change because the gain is going to be increased because it's a 10% technology. But anyway, so we're using in our screens what we call the lights inside are called 6000K LED, and they're called cold white lights. These are the highest white lights you can get. They actually give off the same amount of brightness that you would have in daylight. Now, I had a pair of these LED lights that I used to have upstairs in the hallway of my own previous own house. Used to have, and it had a setting on it that you could change the lights out to different settings. So this is what I'm used to seeing when I watch people who try to put these screens in. They put these screens behind the back of their projection screen. So put it behind the back of the projection screen. They'll put it behind the cabinet, stuff like that. They try to give off the illusion that the screen is actually taking a light. When technically when the screen's not taking any light, it's just the light's being blocked. It's pushed over different directions. So we have the lighting I see in most demonstrations. Let me see, get my mouse over for this one because I just want to get this picture right here. All right, we need the whole picture. All right, and it explains a lot about our lights, the system we're using. So this is what you see usually. Oh, there's an 8000K. Oh, we got to get that one. I didn't know it was 8000K. We got 6000. This is where we sit at right here. We have 6000. Now I got to find 8000K. 8,000. Oh, microphone's on this side, of course, because we're got videos of doing that side. Gotta switch on for just a minute. Where you connect it to controller. Over here. We got everything tangled up. We gotta go get them 8000Ks. I want those. Definitely want those. That's a challenge right there. We generated 8000K. All right, let me see. 8000K LED lights. All right, I gotta research this. I'm definitely looking for some 8000K LED lights. All right, let's go back to us. Where I was at a few minutes ago. Now, would you get 8000K on a cell phone ring light? No, heck no. You wouldn't even get 6000K on a cell phone ring light. That is way too bright. There is no way in the world you can physically function with that much light slamming you in the face. That definitely would be some harmful to your retinas at the end of the day. So, our lighting we have on our screen falls in right here. We're at 6,000. That's where we fall in. We fall in at 6,000 right there. Apparently, it's 8,000. Now, these are called the cold lights are the ones that pick up extremely high. You got cool, natural, and warm. What we mostly see on the back of screens are warm and neutral. This is what we pick up on back of screens. That brownish color to the screen, the light to it, that's a more of a warm color. They don't use the codes, the cool or the codes, due to the fact that it may conflict with the screen. It could cause some problems. And they can't have this lighting in direct contact with the screen. If those lights over there are super bright, you would wash out a screen in a hot second next to all that lighting. So they'll use this lighting right here for the back of the screen. But you see white light pushing up from the back of the screen. It seems much brighter. I'm going to get myself another one of those remote control light kits and show you the difference between warm, neutral, cool, and cold. Is what you'll see, that it's kind of like it dims the light at the end of the day. So 2000, 2700, 3000, 35 is neutral, 4000 is neutral. Cool will fall in the category of so we got cold. Our cold runs in at 6,000, but cool runs in at 5,000, and then you get cold. It runs in at 65 or 6,000, 65, and 8,000. Which now I got to find 8,000 because I'm curious as to how bright those things are on our screen. When we hit direct sunlight, I don't know how much brighter we can get than that, but anyway, but still want to find out. I would like to have those installed in the screens now instead of the 6,000. But anyway, yeah, so mostly when you see the lighting, the light comes up a little of a brownish look to it. That means it's warm. Less than a little brown, they're neutrals. So I can tell when I was looking at the back of certain screens on my YouTube little field trip that the lights that we were picking up were between neutral and warm. That's what we're picking up. And as you can see, where the lights were being installed at for the projection screen, the lights weren't directly in the frame where they would have that contact with the screen at all times. They were placed behind the back of the screen. They were placed under cabinets and areas to try to give you the illusion that an area is well lit when it's not. These are kind of things we're going to have in the showroom. We're going to educate customers. We're not just going to have a place where to buy stuff at. We're going to have a place to educate the masses, to let them know exactly this is a trickery that you're seeing when you're watching demonstrations on how they dodge ambient light. So there's going to be places set up. We're going to show you a dedicated theater room that has real lighting and a dedicated theater room that doesn't have real lighting, where they shift the light all around the environment. They put screens in little pockets. They put them over top of little ledges. They stick lights in the center. It's going to have a meter system that's going to measure how much light's in the environment, sensors in there that'll read, and the other one will show how much our environment's picking up. So guess what? All your little trickery is about to get exposed everywhere in a showroom so everybody can see it. So yeah, all that stuff you guys have been doing out, it's going to be out in the open. I told you I'm not trying to derail your gravy train. I'm destroying your entire train yard. Gone. And you know why? Because you should have been doing this to begin with. You ripped off a lot of people at the end of the day. Now, I can see some companies when you first start off, and this is the way it is, and this is the way it is. This is how it is. This is the way that people do things. But technology changes. And as technology changes, they should be changing with technology. Not following the same tradition of sticking people in these dark environments and telling them that they have to use ambient light controlled, and you have to calibrate projectors because your colors fail, and you have to spend more money for projectors because the inky contrast does not pull on 1,000 to 1. It's crazy what they charge people for. So yeah, whatever. We're going to time to expose, because I've been watching this stuff for years. All right, so our lighting that we have at 6,000K. And keep in mind, that's why when I saw the other individual use a cell phone ring light, are you kidding me? Yeah, how low a cell phone ring light is? It's like 580. It's way below. There's no way in the world you can have a 6K cell phone light in your face. I can't stand in front of those things. Those things blind the daylights out of me. I gotta wear yellow frames. Where are my yellow frames at, by the way? Yeah, I gotta wear these when I'm in here. On that. Because what they do is they give me headaches because they're literally that bright. So there is no way in the world you're wrapping that around a cell phone light and stick that in your face. Because again, you would have all kinds of headaches, problems, migraines, and yeah, you'll wreck your retinas at the end of the day because you have direct UV light staring you in the face. So when I saw the person take the cell phone light and stick it up, they're like, I got the same thing. And it turned out the lights on top of that. Yeah, he darkened the environment and no, nobody. All lights are on at the end of the day. And again, there's a difference between the cell phone ring light and that over there, because those lights are used for industrial. Those are industrial LED lights. They're not the everyday LED lights that you get, that you put white light in the environment. No, those are industrials. That's why they're so freaking bright. Yep. I'm trying to do somebody on YouTube. We don't mention name because we don't want their name in the video, but you already know what I'm talking about. He's the guy who follows us all the time. He's the guy who's actually copying our name because, again, he wants to be me, but it's flattering anyway. I know. I understand. But anyway, as I said before, yeah, there's a difference between the two. So, yeah, our lights are basically on the measurement of daylight. That's where they simulate daylight. That's why I got them. Things are super, super bright. Sheesh. I try to plug those things into regular adapters because they come with the USBs, and the adapters were just heating up. So they plug directly into, I had to get a surge strip protector to plug those things into because, again, they heat up. Let me see. So basically, our lights being 6000K that we have on our lights are a emulate daylight. It's an ad tech. It explains itself. It's a freaking ad tech. And an ad tech, if you've seen demonstrations under the ad tech, they absorb sunlight. This one did it at 50 lumens, which is quite shocking. It picks up anywhere at 50 lumens. I can take that portable projector and go anywhere I want. I was at a friend's office yesterday. I needed a big office room. Our office here, the conference room is locked on the weekends. So I have to get permission to get in there. But the conference room is locked. I literally forgot to ask for permission. And I had went over to a friend's. I got a lot of people. I got a lot of cool people I hang around with. And I said, hey, buddy, his office is usually open on Sunday. Got programmers in there. And I was like, can I use your conference room for a minute? Nice guy. It's cool. I'm good with these people today. Sure, go right in. And I went in and did the demonstration in there. And boom, it picked up at 50 lumens. Okay, there's a big projector in there. Here's a really big one in there. He said, you want to use this one? I said, no, I'm good. I got this one right here. So you can use a tiny little projector. You can use a tiny little projector. And popped on. He was like, oh, man. He got a chance to see it. He was like, man, when are you making this available? Because if you're making this available, I can't imagine my projector playing around with this. And yeah, we went over. Now, mind you, this is off camera. Because, again, he doesn't want to be on camera. And I can understand that. You know what I mean? So, played around with it. And, man, he's freaking in love with it. That thing, the Surface is insane. Our new Surface thing. So he wants to replace his projection screen he has in there with a tile system. So, man, we got setups. We got orders coming in. Before we get, even when we get the paperwork back, we got orders. We're going to hit orders from the door. So this thing is going to blow up. But anyway, so yeah, our lighting we have is considered to be, and it's basically this temperature is commonly used outdoors. So this is the kind of lighting used for outdoor lighting. That's what we're running right now. So you can read. I'm going to put my description down and copy I'm copying this down when I show off the screens, because we're going to make it a little bit more professional looking. But yeah, it's more commonly used for outdoor and industrial. My lights are weatherproof. They're fully weatherproof. I was wondering why they're weatherproof, like these super bright lights for what, and found out they were used for outdoor. They're used mainly outdoor settings for garages, workshops, basements, areas where you need tons of light. And here they are sitting there compressed on our screen. We got two sets in here at 6,000 each, and each of them equivalent to 12,000. That's why it's so bright when it pushes out the screen. Anything that's sitting there just laminates. So that's literally how much light we have sitting in that system right now that's absorbing it with no problem whatsoever. I'm going to be taking that and putting it on our information sheet, because we're going to have the halo systems throughout all our screens. Every single one of our screens, whether it be in showroom, expos, whatever, they're all going to have a halo system built into it. Man, I tell you something. That's why I said it pays to crack books. I know what you're talking about. So now I can understand the 6K. I got to ask a couple of times how bright these lights were. All right. Now, are the lights enhancing the screen? No, they're not. The lights are supposed to be basically destroying the screen. That's why we have them in, to show how much the lights can absorb. So we can show at the end of the day that we can back up 100% that we have this gain at the end of the day. That's why I say you can't be making things up like gain range and I don't know. We got people making up weird gains at the end of the day. You can't do that because again, you're lying to people, and that you're not really doing that. Let me see. Let me go over to let me see. Now, for those who know, so why is there a bottle there? It shows these are different type of screens. So AdTech is both. AdTech is going to be our near, our, both going to do both. It's going to be an advertisement technology for your windows, but also too, it's going to be our front uh, transparent projection screens. It's going to be both of them because I want to be able to advertise when people are buying this for their storefront that not only can you use this anywhere inside, and that's why I said in the day that ad tech would be to go anywhere it wants inside, any environment. I was in my friend's kitchen. His kitchen's super bright in there. We're in the kitchen. I had it outside in the windows. I went over to my buddy who has a night office. We used the conference room over there. We're out on 50 lumens the entire time. We're walking around. I was where else I was at? I was over at I was out here. I went to I go to the garage. Went up to the garage and I hooked up my other buddy over there, and got it to work in the window. And everyone who saw it, the first thing they're saying is when you're bringing it out, when you're bringing it out. They want these screens in their homes. So they got projection screens right now, and they're white, they're washed out. They want that technology. So I told you, ad tech can go anywhere it wants to go. The new technology we have now under the new coding under ad tech can pick up at 50 lumens anywhere I go. That thing's going to pick up. So I got a QME projector coming in. It'll allow me to load a flash drive into it, put a couple of scenery, some fish, whatever on it, and I'm going anywhere I want with that. I'm going to malls, anywhere I want. I bet you that thing will pull up anywhere I go. It's going to pull up. That's the advertisement we have for ad tech. It goes anywhere. Traditional projection screens, y'all can't go there. Heck, you can't even fire up in here. This is my office. My office is commercial. It's commercial. It's commercial property I'm on right now. So when I got people in their home front on, we're in commercial. It's a whole different type of environment than being at home. A lighting here is way different. Super, super bright. But anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing, showing that our gain is way better, more advanced than the traditional ambient light rejection gain, which again, I have no idea how these screens are calling themselves ambient light rejection when you're in a controlled environment. You don't understand the concept. Some people don't understand the concept of that. Ambient light rejection technology. How are you in an ambient light controlled environment if you're claiming to be ambient light rejection to begin with? So what is the limitation of your ambient light rejection technology capabilities? When I'm in a forum site with somebody and they're talking about ambient light rejection, y'all can't be on the same level. Because gunmetals have ambient light rejection, and they absorb more screen than gray screens don't have it. They have a 2.0, which technically they really don't have a 2.0. They're actually lower than that. They pick up them out the same brightness as a white screen does. Because they both have to be in the dark at the end of the day in order to produce. So again, what people don't understand, the theory behind ambient light rejection is not only what you maintain in a well-lit environment, your screen has to be intact, which means you still have to read 100% contrast. You're going to have to pick up perfect white levels because it is going to be required for you to pick up color, and you're going to have to pick up color levels. Your colors can't fade or wash out. No tannish, no discoloration to the screen. It just must be sharp and clean. When you turn to that screen at 180 viewing angle, you literally have to pick up in the same way you would pick up if you were standing in front of it. So, question is, where does your ambient light rejection technology lay? Because if you're saying you're equal to gunmetal, you're a liar. Because gunmetals are 0.8 and 0.9. And I tested their screens, and their screens were exactly what they say. A gray screen can't read on the level of a gunmetal. How would you read in a gunmetal? Gunmetals can operate in fully lit environments. You have a 0.8, 0.9, and you have a 2. You're lucky if you have a 2.0 compared to a 0.9 and 0.8. So how are you competing with a screen that's darker than yours, generates a higher white level because it has a reflective surface, and can operate in a fully lit environment? So again, white screens, 1.0, 0.0. I've never seen a 2.0 white screen. Lead claims they have a 0.9. About that. But anyway, I'm just saying that at the end of the day, no. People go by meters and readings. That's bull. You know why the meter is bull? Because again, the lighting, the meter, if your meter is picking up numbers, there's a problem there. I feel there's a problem. You're not picking up the gain you're picking up at. And if you can't read a 100% contrast level on your screen, your gain is worthless. The whole entire purpose of your whole gain is to be able to absorb light so you can basically maintain your color and contrast while you're in a fully lit environment while it washes out. So if you have to be in an ambient light controlled environment and fear that your environment is too bright due to the fact that your screen's going to discolor and become distorted, that means you're really not ambient light rejection technology to begin with. Imagine you in court with me on that one. You're definitely losing that one at the end of the day. Yeah, I see screens that are so washed out and so faded at the end of the day, and they'll say, oh, we have ambient light rejection technology because you can barely see the screen. They consider that to be acceptable. No, it's not acceptable, not at all, period. You have to see that screen crystal clear. You see how my image pulls up? You see how everything we have is blue. Is the hardest thing to pull because blue will fade out faster than any other color. Contrast will definitely disappear. But you see this right here? Click. You gotta read from corner to corner. Can't be in the middle. People be in the middle. The corners be completely missing. It'd be faded and washed out on the corners, but they'll be zoned in. I can see it. I can still see it because I can see it. No. Imagine if you bought a TV that way. Imagine if you bought a TV and around the corners were gone, but you can only see the center. You keeping that TV? No, you're not keeping that TV. You're taking it back because it's defective. Why would you put up with that with your projection screen, and you paid all this money for a projection setup? What am I hitting at the end of the day down here? But people will tolerate that nonsense. They'll have the most washed out image you ever seen in your entire life, and they'll sit there and go, oh, no, it's good, it's good. Please, come on now, you got to stop lying to yourself. So the reason why the customer lies to themselves on that level is because that is the tradition. And the tradition is that you have to put up with that nonsense because that's the way it's supposed to be. And it's not supposed to be that way. You're supposed to be able to fire up in a fully lit environment on the projector you paid for. So we consider our ambient light rejection to be real because all the ambient light demonstrations we've done on our products are unmatched. That's why we have something called Match and Betters. We're going to have a section on that page I'm building called Match and Better, which has a section where we challenge all screens to complete our challenges. And we're going to put up a series of challenges at 50 lumens, which means you have to match an industrial, inside, outside at 50 lumens only. Good luck on that. I kind of explained it from the door. I said, look, when the ad tech peaks, when you get a chance to see this thing, that the Match and Better demonstrations are going to be absolutely brutal. And at 50 lumens, that is going to be a nightmare for a lot of screens. And a fully lit environment where meters don't read. Where we need the halo system? No, the lighting we have in here is super bright. It's so bright in here, like I said, sometimes we call it the sunroom. I call it sunroom. It's super bright here. My light system over top me is actually 3 inches from the ceiling. So it drops down 3 inches from the ceiling. And I have all this light on top of me. These are high fluorescent commercial lighting that I have in here. The meters won't register in here. They don't even read. And then we have an additional 12,000 K of lighting that's designed for outdoor use attached inside the screen. They're behind the back of the screen. So most like when you have screens that have light behind the back of it, it's not a transparent screen. That's a transparent screen. That's the difference between the lighting we have and they have. Now most likely if they had this set up, our environment would be way darker than this. We know that from the door. Number two, they would have the lighting behind where the boxes are at and not the actual screen itself. Probably has some lighting running with the cabinets at the bottom. That's pretty much it. And then if they have any inside, fluorescent lighting inside, it would probably be in the center of the ceiling. That's most likely where I see it at. Or it'll be in a corner way over here or a corner way over there. Nowhere making contact. Like I watched that demonstration where they talked about an ambient light rejection screen. They showed the room fully lit. All the lights are on. And then the minute they turn the projector on, those lights are off. Hey, you turn them off. Well, why would you turn it off? It's an ambient light rejection screen. You should be to fire up. What's the problem? And this is why I tell at the end of the day that for those people, you can get rough if you want. It doesn't make a difference. You already know exactly I'm telling the truth. If you're not, if I'm not telling the truth about a gray screen I want to contrast, why haven't had an attorney contact me? Because I said 3 days and no one's contacted me yet. So your screens don't read contrast. So every time I see a gray screen, it doesn't make a difference if it's a gray paint, gray certified. I don't care what it is at the end of the day. If it's gray, it's not reading jack. You can't read a contrast level. You depend on your projector to give you the contrast. You depend on the ambient light controlled environment to give you the contrast. You don't read contrast. Take all that away, break it down, put you in a fully lit environment, give you a projector at 1000 to 1 contrast, see what you read. You don't read contrast, you don't pick it up. I love the demonstration that I saw was the one where they had the TVs going against the screens that came up out of the floor. And they kept putting against these screens, the TVs like were the same thing. No, TV reads 100% contrast. Only problem with the TV reflects everything in the environment. It literally bounces everything off the environment. It bounces off that screen. You'll see everything in the background. The minute contrast comes onto a black screen, it reflects everything in the environment. You'll see it. Especially if you got it near a window. And the bigger the screens are, the bigger screens, the OLEDs are, which I found out in forum sites, is that the less their viewing angle diminishes. As you turn to the side, it starts to diminish. And you got that to worry about and think about. So yeah, that's a whole lot right there. So again, as I said before, you know, if you got any gray screen, does it make a difference? You don't have ambient light rejection technology. You don't have it. I know you're going to say we do have it. You don't have it. If you did have it, at the end of the day, you would be able to operate in fully lit environments. And I see the same thing in every demonstration. All the lights are on when the projector's off. All the lights are when the projector's on. All the lights are off. Then you have these little bits of light sprinkled in the environment. And this is what we're going to challenge you on. We want you to do this right here. Now, my projector's in eco mode. It's at 4,000. No, that projector's in eco mode. It's in whisper mode. We keep it in whisper mode. I would get cooked in here if I had it sitting in here on a 4 high powered at 4,000. And Christie LW for the 400s, those projectors are basically at 4,000, they drop to 25. Why would I need to use a 4,000 lumen projector when the same technology can operate anywhere at 50? Simple and plain. So this technology we have here eliminates all that nonsense, all that traditional bullcrap, that nitty-gritty nonsense you have to go through. It eliminates that nonsense altogether. Required expensive projectors, gone. Dark environments, gone. Calibrating, gone. None of that's needed. 4K, don't need it. It's not a push option where you have to get. It's not even an option. You have to have 4K. You have to buy the most expensive projector. Don't even need it. Not even necessary. 720p is all we use. I don't even buy a 1080p projector. We don't need it. Not even necessary. The gaming capabilities of what that thing can do over there. Yesterday we did some gaming on a 1050 graphic card. A 1050 graphic card. Old, outdated. On a 720p projector in eco mode. And we gamed some absolutely incredible. Which means at the end of the day, that people who build PCs at the end of the day have massive options now. They can look at all the older cards. I'm pretty sure you can find cards better than the 1050. And you can. A lot of older cards. A lot of cards are better than the 1050. And we're able to run that with no problem. Ran Street Fighter with no problem whatsoever. Man, I needed a 1060. Minimum I needed on that was 1060. And I was able to run on a 1050 with no problem. I could never understand when people talk about that lag that pops up when you actually use the projector. I've never had that. A latency, I never had it ever. Ever, I've never had it. I've never had it. The only time I've gotten through that is that the internet was crappy or basically the drivers on the graphic card need to be updated. But never had that issue. You see what we're running over here? Never had that issue at all. It just runs smoothly. But anyway, like I said, that's the problem that customers are running into. They're being told all these things. All the things that you're being told that you have to do is because the screen can't cut it. That's why. That's why you're being told. Anyone that tells you have to be in an ambient light controlled environment, aka my screen can't read in a fully lit environment. That's what they just told you. Calibrating, aka means my screen can't read proper color. Again, Dark environments again, contrast can't read. You'll figure it out for yourself. You turn the lights on, because all customers figure it out. The first thing they do, they turn their lights on, because they want to see if it operates like a TV. And the screen washes out. And the next you know, you're on forum sites trying to figure out what happened to all the money you invested into a projector. How come you're not getting that image of that family sitting on the side of your box, all looking at a screen in a fully lit environment, probably in the backyard? You got a backyard screen. That's because your screen can't do it. And the sad thing about it is, and this is the kicker right here, this is the big one, this is what they don't like the most, is that they depend on the projector to fix the problem. Yeah, they think the projector is going to fix the problem. Because if you go for a much higher lumen count, this will eliminate, if you think it'll eliminate the problem you're going to have in the environment. It's not. You're adding additional more light to your screen. It's going to wash it even faster. And if you saw the promo demonstration of the church, 7,000 lumen projector struck that screen. What happened to the screen? Did it change? No, it washed out. Our technology changed it. Ambient light rejection technology. That's what that was. We're using over there. Regular ambient light rejection, which I don't see in demonstrations today at all, period. So they'll try to trick you that, oh, don't worry about the contrast level. The projector, the more money you spend on your projector, the better the image you're going to receive. Lie. Lie, lie, lie. Because that's why when I go look for the P2, trying to find somebody doing a demonstration, fully environment contrast, every single person stuck in the dark with that thing. I'm surprised y'all don't have those coming at us. Looking at some of those places, it just is equivalent of getting up for popcorn while the movie in the middle of a movie. You know how dark it is when that happens. Then you gotta scoot past people, and then thank God they got lights in the little area there. Because you would never find it where you're going. And even when you get past that point and the lights cut off, then you're just moving your arms around like, where the freak is the door? And you see the light where the door pops up. You've been in that situation before? I have. That's like the equivalence of basically being in one of those environments with one of those setups. And then they'll tell you the biggest one. Well, movie screens were technically meant to be in the dark. No. Why do we have ultra short throws? Why do you have those? They're supposed to be replacing TVs. Why do we have those? I go to these forum sites all the time, hear these conversations. We're on this side, we're on this side. Yeah, we are on this side. Okay. Come out of our fish tank. I am going to pop over to Puma. I think it's a Puma. It's a big cat, I know that.
Welcome to OLED Premium.
That gives you an idea how much light we have in our environment. Our environments are super bright. I'm in an office all day.
For more stunning and immersive content.
So I can't be in here
videos exclusively on OLED Premium.
In the dark, trying to figure out what the heck I'm writing down on a piece of paper because I'm surrounded in all this darkness. Can't do that. I feel like I'm under a UFO most of the time. So, can we say that our technology is better than a traditional ambient light rejection? Heck yes, we can. Our advanced ambient light rejection was better than ambient light rejection because we were producing off a ceiling in those demonstrations. We don't have one YouTube video demonstration, not one, on YouTube right now that shows any screen operating in that environment. As a matter of fact, demonstrations I have on the Ultimate GT55 and 5600, even on the NES projector, that I have in fully lit environments at massive 150-inch screens. If we walking around in an environment, there's not one demonstration showing that yet on any of these high-tech, high-end projectors. Every time I see an ultra short throw projector, sure enough, lights go out. Why the freak do you have lights out on a screen that's ambient light rejection technology? That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Someone please answer me on that one at the end of the day. I know I got the cushion pumps capped off, but yeah, all I get at the end of the day is insults. That's all you got? When you say me insult, that doesn't bother me. That tells me at the end of the day you have nothing. That's what you just told me. I have nothing. Insults don't bother me. What it tells me is you don't have anything. If you had something, you would have showed me. You know, people react to insults. This is the problem you have with some people understand. That you don't understand the concept that some people understand your emotion pattern. And what I mean by motion pattern is that when people don't have the information required that's needed, that's asked of them, they will resort to insults. That's what they'll do. It's human nature. And I used to date a psychiatrist at one point. I read a lot of her books. And the human mind is actually a fascinating thing. Everything about the human body is fascinating. But it also gives you an edge up on how a lot of people wear their emotions on their sleeves. To know that point in business is a lot of power when you're sitting down and you're talking to people, because you can read their body language. I can read your body language through your writing. I can read it through the way how you carry yourself in your videos. I can even read it on how you respond back to me. And how you respond back to me when I ask you just simple, basic questions, and you respond back with this very arrogant attitude, upset, angry, and a lot of insults, means that you feel like your intelligence level has been challenged, and therefore, since you don't know the proper answer, what's the best way you retaliate with? Anger. That's what you do. So when you retaliate and you're upset when I ask you questions, it just tells me all the more that you don't know the question. That's how easy it is for me to read you. That's your basis of the question. That's all. So if I sit there and say that your ambient light rejection technology is worthless, and a person gets mad and I tell you why it's worthless. I just explained the whole thing to you just a few minutes ago. And they'll get angry and just react back nasty and upset. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to yell and scream at you. Why would I waste your time? I just asked you a simple question. If you can't answer the question back and you have to retaliate with anger, I've already won. For me to retaliate with anger right back at you would be pointless at the end of the day, because now I'm just wasting energy on something that I know that I'm right on. You're the one that retaliated in anger, so therefore you just told me you don't know. And I already won. So I just move on and smile. See? Controlling the entire situation. Because they expect them to retaliate that way. Your reaction is going to be, they're going to get upset because you said something nasty. No. Why would I need to say anything nasty back? I already won. I got you to jump out of your character. I got you to become unprofessional. I exposed you. Move on. See how easy you are? There you go. I'm just talking to the naysayers at the end of the day. That's why we take all your messages you bring up, we post them. We got a site for you, a special site we set up for you. It shows people you bring me money. And the reason why you bring me money, because we can show people how advanced our technology is, that people literally, our haters get upset. It's a haters page. So how badly they get upset. You got to join that, by the way. I got a lot of members in there. But it shows them how haters, how the competition, so-called competition, we don't say your competition, your so-called, gets upset and angry. And we share all your information that you send over. Yep. So this is the messages we receive on our page because people are upset because our product is that good. We use you. You make us money. Like posting on your website that my site is a scam. You know where they're going to go, right? You don't know human behavior. That's the problem. You don't understand human behavior. Human behavior, if I'm watching somebody's site and they're saying something nasty about another website, I'm going to that website. I want to see what they're talking about. Because I'm not going to just go off your word at the end of the day. People never do that unless you're an idiot. They're going to go find out. They're going to look around. They're going to figure out where it came from, who said what. They're going to do their own little investigation. So they're going to pop up on our site. You know, they're going to realize my site's 10 times better than yours. I know exactly what I'm talking about. My specification sheets are huge. I have tons of demonstrations. I have demonstrations on building. I have demonstrations on LED lights. I have demonstrations on projectors. I got unboxings. I got vast amounts of information on my page. Go check my YouTube channel next. We have over 12,000. We got 12,000 video demonstrations. We got customer reviews and everything, the whole 9 yards. I'm bouncing in out of different companies and stuff. So again, they're going to go back to your page and see nothing. They're going to compare you to us. They're going to say, man, this guy's definitely jealous. If I was going to a site on sports cars, and the guy said, hey, this particular garage is trash, garbage, whatever, don't go there. And I look at the link, I'm going to go there. And I see that, wow, these guys have worked on all types of vehicles. Man, this place is freaking, the website is beautiful. Way better than yours. And I go back and go, oh, I see why he's jealous. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm going to go over there and buy. You brought me business. You advertised for me. The whole canceling of all the people in PA that brings us money. Because when I go out there and I go, yeah, we got, they always ask me, everybody asks me the same thing. You got haters, you got competition, or we got no competition, but we got a bunch of haters. We mention your name, we mention your business, and we try to get people in Pennsylvania to try to order your stuff. And they go, wow, he blocked the entire state. I told you. Because when you tell somebody blocked the entire state of Pennsylvania for your company, that's crazy to think about that. I mean, people sit in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is huge. So again, imagine you're responsible for all those people who can't, if they wanted the product, which they're going to block us, they must be garbage. But anyway, besides, we got cancellations on there, stuff too, we post our cancellation. They gave us back our money. But anyway, yeah, if you're too afraid to send a product over that you block that many people, yeah, you make us money. What kind of fish should he catch is red? So I got food. I've got food. Got a big one too on top of that. That's interesting how we'll take all day long to catch a fish that big and they'll catch it in no time at all. With no freaking fishing gear or nothing whatsoever and just catch it. But anyway, as I said before, yeah, it brings us money at the end of the day because again, I can have people out there, I go out there with my card, just slide it right through, make the order right there on my cell phone. Yeah, use that. That's a lot of people to block. And keep in mind, for people who think it's not true, go to the blacklist. We made the order. We made it right there. And you could see the state of Pennsylvania was missing in the category. And if he sits there and says that I never serviced Pennsylvania, oh, no. We have cancellations. $700 worth of cancellations, which I have on the YouTube channel. And I show you, open them up, showing how many cancellations we have. Oh, they can't back it up. Gain range? Doesn't exist. It's phony. That's another thing too. The reason why the guy's a fake. He made up a gain he couldn't support. I guess he felt that sitting behind a chalkboard and talking about his great philosophy that he was going to basically dupe people into thinking that he knew what he talked about when it came to ambient light projection technology. He doesn't know jack at the end of the day. I told you he didn't know anything. Yeah. This is where the people get mad at. People who supported that nonsense. That humble pie. How hard was it to swallow that piece? Well, it got caught in your throat right there. How hard is it? You supported that nonsense. You followed behind these guys. You supported their nonsense. And now you're dealing with the fact that people get to say, told you so. I told you it was scam artists. People who scam don't last long. They burn out. They run out. That's what happens. They run out. It runs out. They don't have the fuel and the power to keep going because everything they do is fake. They live in this house of cards in the middle of a wind tunnel. As that wind gets stronger, it gets more and more closer to them getting caught. And that house they claim to be indestructible, collapsing and caving in on them. They burn out. Some of them become trolls afterwards. They did become trolls. That's all they can do. They got nothing else. They got nothing left. So with that being said, all those people followed that nonsense at the end of the day, and you thought at the end of the day they were going to be around for this, that, and the other. Where are they now? Told you. Now, take my new gain, my new outstanding technology we have at 10%. Get myself a nice big storeroom with a ton of windows in it. Advertise our technology the way I want to do it on the next level. Because I thought about that. I got a few stores that can advertise ad tech, no problem whatsoever. But we want our own front. Because we get our own front, we get our own set of windows. We can advertise ad tech anything I want. And I got a guy's professional with projection. He's going to do the mounting, setting everything up. He does the whole edge bleeding or blending technology. Oh man, that's insane. We can bounce from window to window to window anywhere we want in that place. Because he's setting up the program for it. So we want. We can have somebody hit a baseball on one side of the building and the ball can ricochet and bounce all over those windows. You know how sick that's going to look on our building? And then on top of that, consider the fact that people that are going to be walking in are going to be watching screens operate in fully lit environments with these massive halo systems built into the screen. Because the perception of everybody, what they have when it comes to projection screens, is the fact that you have to be in a dark environment. And this is going to change everything for them. You have to have expensive projectors. We're buying a lot of projectors off eBay. We'll have them tagged and show exactly how much we paid for them, specifications on the projectors, stuff like that. And as for these naysayers at the end of the day, all that time, I gotta ask real quick. All that time you put into making all those hate campaigns, what you got to show for it? Absolutely nothing, right? You really thought the devil told you was going to win that battle, didn't he? You really believe that 100%. What do you got out? Some of y'all getting prison now. Some people are getting prison time out of that. Some people are getting prison time. Some people are getting hit with massive lawsuits. It's pretty bad for some people. But the time you put into that, what did you get out of it? Business. Some people lost their businesses. They closed down. Other people disappeared. What'd you get out of it all? You didn't make any money off of it. So you put money into something that didn't make any money. I told you the other guy wasn't making any money. He was making $60 a container. He did $85 a container. He wasn't really making any money. Of course. Between the expenses, what it costs to run, and this, that, and the other, you got to sell. In order to make, if you got to sell something by $60 or even $80, you got to sell by quantity. That's how you make your money. If you're selling for that little quantity. You have a person sells a screen for $7,000. You got a person sells a screen for maybe about $20 or $30. $20 or $30, including all the things you have to pay for in between in business. It'll kill that quick with no problem. They got to sell quantity. Or a person who sells a screen for $7,000, he's good as long as he basically can take a percentage of that, more of it back to him. As he gets him paying his taxes and everything else he's got to pay along the way. Long as you take a percentage of that. If you can pull back between 80 to 90 profit back to yourself after paying all expenses, you're doing extremely, extremely good. This technology pulls 90% back. Yep. Pulls 90% back. That's why the investors like it. Yes, sirree. The solution that we make, a quarter of that, can blast anywhere between. It's a one-coat application for the technology. So it's a light dusting at that. It's not even a paint. You're not even painting the screen. It's a dusting coating that's being applied to it. So we have to use a lot of power to actually get the screens to transfer. So we're talking about a quart can probably do roughly about between 10 to 15 100-inch screens. 1 quart. Easily. The whole purpose of when you develop technology, you use several different things. Number one, it has to work. It's going to definitely work in any kind of environment because that's very important. Because if you can't work in any kind of environment, your product becomes limitations and it won't work. That means somebody else will get your contract that can do it. You want to make sure you're the only one they go to for your product. Only. I mean, someone can opt you out easily. But on top of that, you have to make sure that the product you're designing is easy to apply, or easy for your team members to apply it. Can you imagine that stuff you made, that goopity-goo nonsense, all those instructions that came with it, they're rolling back over the screen? You know how long it would take for them to produce one screen? If they had to produce multiple screens, it'd be nothing but a headache. Because the application didn't take well. And if the application doesn't take well, that means that even if you're using a machine, the machine's going to have to spray it multiple times. That's more product you'll have to use at the end. That's going to cost you. That little bit of more is going to cost you so much money. Because people think, oh, it's just a little bit. You multiply that by millions. You multiply that by thousands, and so much money it costs you. It costs you a lot of money. So it has to be a fast, easy application. Extremely fast drying time. That's something that's very important. When the screen dries, how does the screen dry? That's why you can't skip those applications. Right? I see people come in and they'll paint the screen and they'll edit it out and then boop, screen's dry. You can't do that. Anything could have happened in the drying time period. You could have had all kinds of craters in the screen. You could have had tons of imperfections. You could have had like spotty, I don't know, residue from whatever didn't mix right in the formula. It could be a number of things could have went wrong in there. But you'll never see it. You'll just find out when you buy it. How many paint down demonstrations have we done? Every demonstration we do is a paint down demonstration. The only ones you ever seen paint down are these. Or only ones I can't show you that. Because these demonstrations are screens that we design. I can't show you the process on that. There's a process we go through on this. That's part of the trademark secret I had to apply for. Other than that, every screen we showed you had to paint. We painted and dried it right on camera because you have to see that process. Nope. You don't do it on there. It's at all period. You're missing a whole lot of the test. The ton of tests you're missing. Where are the tests involving at 1,000 lumens, 16 feet between a screen that's your color and a white surface? Where's that at? Ultra short throw demonstration. You have to do those things inside and outside, and it helps if you do them on commercial, which is really important. You should have them in commercial environments. If you have them in a commercial environment, you should at least have roughly about 20 to 30 videos in your pocket. Missing. What are the odds of your stuff matching bed sheets, any form of fabrics and film, paints? None of those are around. Where are they at? If we give off blackout cloth for free, the first thing that pops up is a blackout cloth going to do the same thing your screen's going to do. Nope, here's our test right here against fabric. None of those are done at all whatsoever. Those are all missing. What about endurance tests? How long is your screen? Is your screen truly weatherproof? The screen has to be outside for a solid year in order to show that it's weatherproof. Do you have any of those tests at all? How does your screen react under extreme ice, heat, cold? Is it going to crack? Is it going to peel? When the screen becomes rigid and stiff because it's been in the cold all day long and you bring that thing down, is it going to cause the fabric to pop and tear and deteriorate? What happens if you paint a fixed frame screen? Say a customer says, hey, I want to take a fixed frame screen outside. What information could you tell them at the end of the day of the do's and don'ts of a fixed frame screen being outside? Because there's a lot of don'ts along with that one. I learned that when I did testing outside about fixed frame screens outside. They don't have that either, information either. What if I come to you and I say, hey, look, I want to use your screen paint projector mapping applications. What can you tell me? People use screen paints for projector mapping all the time. What if they tell you at the end of the day that I need 100% contrast? Can you give them that? They ask that too. Or are you going to point in a direction of spending money for a more expensive projector to fix something your screen can't do? That's a big one right there. All right, bigger question for you. I'm in this environment right here. How does your product work for me? I'm not darkening the environment. We're not doing that. No. I'm not changing out my projector. I paid $50 for it. I'm staying with that. I'm not paying for 4K. I don't want 1080p. I'm not paying for no high-end contrast. I'm definitely not calibrating it because I don't want to do that either. So how are you going to help me? How are we working this out? And keep in mind, I'm doing a demonstration on the expedition and exploring of outer space. So I need to read a 100% contrast. How can you help me? You're going to face these people. You know that, right? The problem you have with screen paints and stuff today, they put it on the projector's shoulders. Because the projector will fix their problems. The darker environments will fix their problems at the end of the day. So, you're stuck in the dark, expensive projector, still can't see jack. Cheers. That's where you're at. Simple question. When I go to form sites, I show them the environment I'm in. I'm in the office right now. Show me where your screen can work in my environment. Here comes the millions of excuses. Yeah, well, it's really more, not designed for commercial use, it's more designed for like home theater use all the time, what's the use for it? You can't say it's an all-around screen. Let's leave our fish tank here. Oh, let me see, go back over this one. Look at some stuff real quick. Now, the screen you saw in the office, that's the black. That's a transparent black technology. That's the ones that we designed that you could throw over top of an ultra short throw. But the ones we have are way darker than that. They still can transfer light through them, but they're way darker. You wouldn't even see that bottle on the other end. We got a much darker than that. So we have two different shades that you can have them in. But that's one of the screens we're showing off in there. He liked it. He was in there playing around with it. As long as he brought it back on my sample sheet. And those are the size of the sample sheets we're going to have. So we got to come up with the sizes for the smalls, which we're going to be working on those next, because he wants to flex. I want to do some demonstrations on the computer. And we definitely got to pick up a QME. My QME's 500 lumens. QME at 500 lumens is going to operate inside and outside. When we did it at 50, that is going to be a cakewalk. That right there, the information I got from that 50 lumen was more than enough showing that the ambient light rejection technology and what it did. It gave us an idea that if we want to build these customized tabletop wraparound screen setups for people's companies or gamers at the end of the day, that you can literally operate all that at 50 lumens off your table. Easily. Read a 100% contrast level, beautiful colors. Look how they get mad when I say 100%. When I say 100%, they leave, they get upset. Because you know you can't read 100% contrast. That's why they get upset. You don't even have shifting technology. You don't have it. But anyway, they get mad. Every time I mention certain keywords like contrast, fully lit environment, calibrating, stuff like that, they leave, they get mad and upset because they know they do it. But anyway, kind of told on yourself. Well, you told yourself anyway. We watched the video demonstrations. Anyway, so a wraparound desk, which will allow gamers or people in the office be able to operate without monitors at 50 or 500 lumens easily. You know how small those projectors are? They don't even generate any heat at the end of the day. They're tiny. Yeah. Tiny. You know what you money I'm paying for my Cumi? $50. That's what I paid for one. $50. That's it. That's what I'm paying. Mind you, I got a rule. I can't buy a projector over $200. So I'm going to have that track record too. Because all my eBay receipts, I'm printing them all out. I'm going to have them on a bulletin board in the showroom showing how much we paid for every single projector. It's one thing to say it. You have to show it. You have to back it up. Like that gain range. If he gets mad at me about that, you the one that made it up. I don't understand that part. That's what I don't understand. They make up this dumb nonsense at the end of the day. And yet it's my fault because I bring it up. They don't make up dumb stuff. And you won't get where we're getting mad at the end of the day. This guy gets mad at us and gets angry and screams and rants and stuff. You made it up. It's like the other one. It triggers and gets upset with us because we showed the video of his product matching house paint. He just blows up over that one. You made the video. And nobody come to your house and put a gun to your head and say, you are forced to make this video. You have no choice. You made the video of free will. It's because you want it to go away. That's why. And it won't go away now. It's everywhere. Everybody has a copy of that. People go to the blacklist all the time and copy it. We set up the YouTube account so you can duplicate the videos off the account. You can share them. So anyone can get that video and take it anywhere and post it anywhere they want. You should be proud of that. You made it, right? You had it on there for like freaking like what? It was like almost like 4 months it was sitting on there? Yeah. 4 months. The other video from showing the black and white paint mixture, he hates when we show that one too. He can't stand it. Drives him nuts. But you made it. That sat around for 6 years. Jeez, my goodness. Ah, the beautiful image. I love it. I freaking love it. Can't wait to get my big screen done. We're going to do 3 panels set up for this one. They come apart. And then I'm going to set it up on the side another screen, which is going to be the gamer. The gamer's going to have 2. I can't wait to do the game. The gamer's going to be gorgeous. It is going to be a gorgeous surface. I just want to understand how people have... You got a PS5 system. And you're playing that on a gray screen? How the frick does that work? People on OLED, game on OLED, which again, bad idea, can burn into your screen. But anyway, people play on OLED will sit there and laugh at people on gray screens. Because the first thing they'll say is, how the frick are you picking up contrast on that thing? Oh, my projector has a so-and-so. I'm sorry, but if you mention your projector, you already lost already. You lost that quick. If projector sees contrast, the screen won't see it. That's the problem. That's why you're sitting in the dark with it. If your projector did see contrast, you'd be in a fully lit environment, wouldn't you? Projector can't, when the screen sees it, you'd be in a fully lit environment. Your screen can't see the contrast. If the projector sees contrast, the screen can't see it. So if your contrast did work, then you'd be in a fully lit environment because the screen would see it. So anytime I hear somebody say, right from the door, the projector, you already lost that battle already from the door. You're not seeing it because the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is, here's a link. Do me a favor. Show it to me. I'm going to send you an all black screensaver. Not the Starfield, an all black. You should be able to read it. Can't pick it up? It's coming up with this tannish orange look to it or whatever. It's not looking right. The fully lit environment. You don't have black then. So how are you gaming off of Sky gaming with a PS5 or Xbox system? Those things have some pretty healthy graphic cards on them. Whether it be console or not, they still have healthy graphic cards. How are you picking up a black level? If you can't read black, you can't read color. You know they kind of fall together, right? We showed that already. We take a white screen, we stick it against our technology. You think the white screen, because it's being white, it's brighter, it would pull better color. It doesn't. The color is actually poor. So if that's the case, you need contrast to read color. You take a gray screen to the same scenario, it doesn't pull up color. That's why you guys are calibrating in there. You need contrast to read color. We take our black screen, we can dominate both your screens at the same time. You need contrast to read color. Contrast is also important for ambient light projection technology to function because it absorbs the light. This will wash out. So with that being the case, how in the world are you gaming off a console system that requires heavy black contrast levels for gaming and you're on a gray screen? So all the time you're watching demonstrations on the P2, on that PS5, and you thought you weren't seeing any contrast, you were reading gray the entire time. Because the screen can't read it. It's just basic common sense. And that's the part we go through with these people who make these great products and they're like, we're seeing black at the end of the day. We're seeing black. No, you do not see black. You don't pick it up. Now, if you feel the need that I'm wrong on this, then take me to court on it. Oh, you can't take me to court. You know why? Because I'm right on it 100%. You lose your shirt in that courtroom. That's why. What kind of freaking Houdini, freaking Harry Potter nonsense you got going on over there? You're going to tell somebody that a gray screen's reading a 100% black level. Are you serious? How do you get on YouTube and make that statement at the end of the day? And for the customers, understand this. If they're making that statement, that means that you're going to have to spend more money for a higher grade projector with higher contrast in order to be able to pick up whatever they need you to pick up. And if they're in the dark, guess where you're going to be at? In the dark. With that cell phone flashlight trying to figure out where that freaking coffee table's waiting for you. Or some of your kids' toys out there waiting to take you out because you can't see it because the environment's too dark. Yeah, that just tells you right there. It's right there. The red flag is literally right there. Next time you ask them for contrast, say, look, lights on please with the contrast. As many people has a P2 projector, I can't find one demonstration with the lights on and nothing but contrast. Can't find one. Who has one of those projectors? Because if we get our hands on that projector, this is going to be so, and we're going to get one. I'm picking one up. This is going to be really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. And it's going to be an eye-opener to customers out there at the end of the day that know the P2 is a complete waste of time on top of gray and white screens. It's a waste of time. Even gunmetal technology. Our gunmetal technology is super dark. But you make gunmetal, my gunmetal beat every single gunmetal screen. I got it documented. I beat every gunmetal. If you're going to call yourself have the most superior gunmetal, you have to actually beat the gunmetal to beat that gunmetal. We got people out there claiming to be gunmetal at the end of the day, and they haven't even challenged any of these screens out here. None of them at all whatsoever. But I'm gunmetal. I can save you a lot of money. Go to a forum site with that dumb nonsense at the end of the day and see at the end of the day. You know, you're not dealing with some of the YouTubers. You're dealing with people on a forum site are different than YouTube. I hate to say it, but it's true. These people know their freaking stuff at the end of the day. That's what they talk about all day long. They gurus over there. So you're going over there and you're talking with the best of them over there. And don't get me wrong, we got some people on YouTube that are pretty sharp on it. But over there, this site is just breathing and generating these people all day long. They know their stuff. All right? So you can't pull that nonsense around them. Even the people that are in there, in those forum sites, they know their stuff. So you can't pull that nonsense. So that's why we never see them over there, because they can't talk that mumbo jumbo over there. You can't read it. You can't pick it up at all. You pick up shades of gray. And depending on how dark it is, that's how it picks up. But to claim you have gunmetal technology, no, I got a black diamond at the end of the day, and you come into my forum site with some screen paint, mind you, because we feel that physical screens are far better than that, than screen paints, and you come into my room on a screen I paid 20 grand for, talking about how your screen paint is better than the screen I have here sitting on my wall? You're going to have to show me. That's not enough to just talk to me about that. You got to show me. Show me where. Your screen is better. So I paid 20 grand for this at the end of the day. You're not going to tell me this or the other. All right then. That being said, you're going to show it. So since they don't have any demonstrations on these high-grade certified screens, no DMP supernovas, none of them, none of the whole pack, none of them. How can you make that statement? You're going to save somebody all this money on the screen when you haven't done the test yourself. We did. We did all the testing. So our gunmetal's better. But we were able to back it up. Oh, look at that right there. Tell me how impressive that is. Anybody sit there and take me to court and say, hey, at the end of the day, Mr. Bird lied because he went and said something on his YouTube channel about how his gunmetal was better than our... Yeah, my gunmetal was dark in yours. I beat all their screens already. And then what I did at the end of the day was we built a gunmetal to take out all the other gunmetals to prove we had the best gunmetal. And then turned around and took a black technology and took out our own gunmetal to show that black technology was more superior. I even went out and took a screen that was $69 motorized projection screen. No. Okay, one was the $69, one was the Elite screen. We took the $69 screen, painted with our technology used to be the $3,000 Dark Star 9. To show people how our screen paints advanced over a $3,000 screen. Then went out and bought an Elite screen. I bought the edgeless Elite screens and used that to take out their own $3,000 screen. You got to show impressive demonstrations like that. That's when you'll have companies contact you saying, hey, your stuff has potential. But any chance you'd like to come down, da-da-da-da. They only contact us. They don't want to walk me into a courtroom. The last thing to do is walk Mr. Bird into a courtroom when I can back myself up on every level. They hear me on camera talking all the time. They know darn well I can back myself up on so many levels. To walk me into a courtroom would be a nightmare for them. Not only would I show that my screen is far more advanced than theirs, but at the end of the day, keep in mind, it doesn't require any expensive projectors, no calibrating, all this stuff that their screens require, mine doesn't. Which means that would bring publicity to me at the end of the day and take it off of them. And they don't want that. Bad enough, they got to face me in a forum site sooner or later. Sooner or later, they got to face me in one of those little expos. And I guarantee, when we get in there, I guarantee there's no booths around us. I bet you. There won't be one booth near us. Especially walking in with one of these. Oh, heck no. We got a ring system in here built into the screen? No. They'll be freaking out now. Like, what the freak? You got a ring system? It's built in the screen? Yeah. It'll terrify them. Look at my dog. Look at that dog. How beautiful. Look how red his collar came up. You can hear me? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You know, so tilt to the side, dogs, when you do that. So we're going to have to deepen this, to add in the extra lights, because I need to add in more lights. I'm looking for these freaking 8K. They got 8K, 8000K freaking lights. Are you kidding me? Where do we get these from? I got to hunt these down now. Now I see most people, they're not looking for the high-end lights. They're not. They're looking for them soft brown warm lights, because it gives off the illusion that your area is well lit, but it's soft, and it basically is a soft light, and basically it won't disrupt the image that badly. They'll have it down low, and then they'll say, look, I got a well lit environment. Yeah, let me put my lights on your screen, see what happens. I want to see, where are we getting these lights from? 8,000. He said 8,000. I gotta go hunt and look around. Where are we getting 8,000 from? 8,000K. These are headlights. $6,000K is the equivalent for outdoor lights. It's considered to be this light right here is considered to be the same lighting that they have for basically for equivalent to outdoor. If you look at the lights here, look at my ceiling. You see how bright those lights are? We have sitting inside of that screen. They're super bright. All right, people. With that being said, we just had this nice topic on ambient light projection technology. Look how beautiful those colors pop at the end of the day. Nice bright room. And keep in mind, when people say, oh, I have the same thing. No, you don't. You know why? Because you're still sitting in the dark with this little light over top of the screen. We have the same ambient light projection. And if your screen washes out, if you're not reading that 100% contrast level at the end of the day, heck, we got shifting technology that can read it better than your screens. Then you have not acquired the technology to do so. Can't pick and choose your environments and say, we got it. You got to be everywhere. Which again, Soon, we're going to be doing matching better demonstrations. You're going to be logged onto the site. So you can go check it out. The challenges we put out for all screens, 50 lumens, commercial properties only. I know right now, I got a bee in someone's bonnet. Someone got a bee in their freaking bonnet. What the freak? That's insane. Who does that? We do. Why? Because we can. We do things not because we're easy, because we can. Oh, look at this. 8K LED lights. I'm gonna hook this sucker up. Wait a minute. These are 8K LED lights. We're over 8K. We're at 12K in here. We got 2 sets of these in here. And equivalents to 12K. So we're running 12K because we doubled it up. It's like the equivalence of projector stacking. Now if you stack projectors on top of each other, 5 and 5 give you 10. We actually are stacking our lights. So actually, technically, we're actually over 8K because right now we're running a set of 2 sets of 6, which gives us 12K. Can't measure it as 2 sets of lights and it's just still 6K because the other light has to account for something. So we're stacking our lights. So that makes it 12K. We got 12K lighting on the screen. So we're over the 8K, which is actually 8K, 8,000K is roughly in the range of headlights for a car. And we're over that with 12. Which soon we're going to have 24 in here. 24! 24! I'm excited about this, man. I'm excited about I like the lighting system. It's so freaking bright. People are looking at like, what the heck is that bright light around your screen? I said, oh, that's the halo system put up there. It's designed to be super bright. Look how bright the colors push to, how vivid they are. Man, my customers are going to have a ball with this screen, man. They're going to be just come and go click. All the lights going to be on, nice and bright environment. Our screen's going to pop up. You can even have a halo system behind the back of that, which we're thinking about doing that too. Installing halo systems. Now we're going to put dimmers on those. These things have no dimmers at all whatsoever. Once these suckers are on, they are on. You ain't dimming jack on these. There's no way to dim them. It's virtually impossible. It's lights into the freaking USB. There's no dimmer switches, nothing. Unlike some of these LED lights I've seen have dimmer switches on them. Because I saw somebody actually asked Alexis to hit the lights. And the lights were being controlled by dimness through the Alexis app system. So your lights have dimmers on them, we know. These don't have dimmers. Do the other headlights have dimmers? No, they're basically switches. It's on and off. That's all the choices you have. We can control the lights on the end if we make it dark in here, but what's the point? No point in darkening an environment for what? Oh. They asked me the dumbest question, like, does your screen work with the lights out? If I don't answer you back after that one, I'm not wasting my time on it. I'm just move on. Why would it not work with the lights on? What's harder for a screen to operate in? Nighttime or daytime? It would be daytime. Daytime would be the hardest for a screen to operate in. What's the hardest place for a screen to operate in an environment right now? This environment. Lights on or off? That means lights on would give the screen the hardest problem. Not lights off. Lights off would be easy. Super, super easy. That's how brainwashed the people are in the industry are. That you literally think having the lights out on a demonstration is supposed to be difficult? Oh my goodness. That is just so freaking easy, man. I can't stand doing lights out demonstration. It's too easy at the end of the day. It feels like I'm cheating. Can't stand doing it. That's why we don't do them. That's why it's rare you would catch me in a video with lights out. We're doing lights out. We're doing comparison screens. That's the only way we get any entertainment out of it. So I can show you at the end of the day that a gray screen, we can wash it out with a cell phone. And white screens don't even register. A black screen at the end of the day, all black paint's not going to match your screen. I got to have something else in there because it's boring. Right, so, we'll do it. I'm keeping my halo system in, by the way. There we go. Lights out demonstration, keeping the halo in. Because again, it's too easy. And you can see how much light makes contact with the screen when the lights are out. Yeah. That's literally how much white light pushes around those screens. And lights right on. Now you see the screen brighten up, see it start to absorb, see how the white light disappears and all that? Yeah, ambient rejection technology, that's how it functions. Doesn't affect the screen in any way whatsoever. We brighten the environment, it absorbs the light. Alright people, we're way past time here. I think we're just going to do some demonstrations on boosting our ambient light rejection technology. Once we get all the paperwork back, you'll get introduced. Remember, the technology is only 10% done. So we can actually add, we're actually going to be increasing the gain capability, which we have a new game we're going to be adding onto it. So these are going to be all upgraded. What you're seeing right now is the beginning start of the technology. As we go along, we get the chance to see it at 100%, because of course we can't sell this at 100%, but the gains are definitely going to change on it. So as the company name we have, ILEG and all that changes over to the new company's name. Now we know we got the other guy at the end of the day has been copying their name back to back to back. I'm sending someone to your front door for that problem we're having with you. Every time we change our name to the company, we change it around where we have our name, he goes and copies it. So Mr. Fernando, I got someone coming to your front door. This is a person of the courts or whatever, bring you to court for basically identity theft. Some other stuff we're going to get you on top of that. But I'm bringing someone to your front door. Since you want to carry on, act up that way. I've also got, we've contacted people on that control number, so they're going to activate on that right away as fast as possible because we're having problems with him. He's attacking our company, making all kinds of statements about our company. Figure he's going to get away and do what he wants to do. You're going to find out real soon. It's called Mess Around, Find Out. When people have a curse word behind it, we don't say the curse word. So I think what he needs is he needs someone to shake him up a little bit to understand that we can reach you. So I'm going to have someone come out to your front door, knock on your door, and hand you a letter. So you're going to understand that this is not a joke. This is seriously going to happen to you. Okie dokie. I'll be seeing you soon. All right. With that being said, we got to go. Hope you enjoyed. Because the new name is going to be trademarked. And you know how he does with trademarks. The Frankenstein, he stole their name and made money off of it. So, yeah, when that new name pops up and we display it, the minute your YouTube channel copies it, someone's coming to your front door to have a little conversation, which will let you know you're being taken to court. Because that name will be trademarked that we'll be using. And that means you violated my trademark. So if you want to take that for a joke, and you think we're going to play around with that one? Nope. I'm going to have somebody come down in California, a processor in California, to knock on your door. Now, like I said, you come into court and you got a control number on you already, they can pick you up at any given time. So, you want to play those games? Not a problem. That being said, hope you enjoyed, people, and God bless.